While Josef Martinez chases the MLS single-season scoring record, the striker was on target in midweek for the All-Stars, who were beaten by Juventus on penalties in Atlanta. But it was back to league action at the weekend, and we returned to Mercedes-Benz Stadium to begin our roundup.
There was more Martinez magic in Montreal a week ago.
Beautiful goal, Martinez! Martinez does what Martinez does.
Toronto's own target man made a welcome return to the score sheet against Chicago. The MLS Cup holders took on the team intent on claiming their crown. Adam Virgo and Dave Farah are your commentators.
Almiron with a chance to turn, and now Martinez, and back into Almiron! It would have been some goal. He was onside, he had Martinez to pick out in the middle, and somehow it remains goalless at Mercedes-Benz Stadium. Here's Almiron. Martinez wanted it returned instantly. Villalba's made a run. Villalba is onside. Martinez! Terrific save from Bono.
Well, he should have scored. We've got to give credit to the goalkeeper, because what he does brilliantly, he comes down and spreads himself fast. They've certainly had the better chances, haven't they?
Bursting through is Giovinco. Picking up the pieces is Altidore, a minute to be added on. Altidore for Arrow Junior for Giovinco! Smash and grab from Toronto.
The goal is against the run of play. Well, it's just great pressure from Altidore. He just picks up that second ball. Great overlapping run. It's a well-taken goal from Giovinco.
Almiron returning it back, deflected for Martinez, who goes over. Penalty. Great support play from Remedy. Foul from Bono.
I thought penalty straight away, in my opinion.
Josef Martinez has scored in 6 in a row, and it's a magnificent 7 for Atlanta's brilliant number 7.
Goalie goes slightly early. That allows Martinez just to whip his foot around it.
Now Parkhurst. Floated for Martinez! Nothing can stop him.
He is on red-hot form now, isn't he? You can't allow him that amount of time to get that ball in, to look up. It's a brilliant position from Martinez, and it's no surprise now that the home side have turned this around.
Here's Almiron, darting in behind to finish things. And good save from Bono. Corner should have been more.
He's been excellent all evening, Almiron. It's a decent save from the keeper, you have to say that.
Swung in by Almiron. Laurentowicz with a free header. And he might have made it 3. Falls now for Giovinco off the crossbar. This is the dangerous game that Atlanta are playing. How close to an equaliser. Bradley. Now Giovinco. Oh, lovely weighted pass in behind. Ricketts! Toronto with a stoppage time equaliser.
But when you've got a player of Giovinco's quality, this is what he can do. It's a brilliant through ball. It's a great run from Osorio in behind him, squares it. But it's the weight of a pass from Giovinco.
Maybe one final chance. What a touch from Almiron. Flag up. And they've been held. Atlanta have been held. There's still some nonsense here. Mavinga and Almiron. Osorio was initially peacemaker, but Not much peace there. Looked like a punch thrown in the background. A red card for Mavinga. Let's have a look. Well, that's what the red card's for. Atlanta United 2, Toronto FC 2.
New York City FC began the weekend as Atlanta's closest challengers in the East, but they were given an early alarm call at home to Vancouver. Midway through the first half, Nicolas Mezquida was afforded time and space, which he duly took full advantage of to give the Whitecaps the lead. Ismail Tajori Shradi had scored 8 goals since joining NYCFC this season. 5 minutes before half-time, his acrobatics almost led to another. An equaliser did follow in added time at the end of the first half. Anton Tinnerholm kept the move alive before Jesus Medina made use of limited space to score his 4th goal in 5 games. The home team started the second half as they'd ended the first. This time Joe Ingeberget played the supporting role for new signing Valentin Castellanos, who marked his debut with NYCFC's 2nd goal. Late on, substitute Alphonso Davies showed why Bayern Munich were prepared to pay up to $22 million for his services. The less heralded Brad Stuver denying the 17-year-old an equaliser. But with 3 minutes to go, Stuver was left stranded as another substitute, Eric Hurtado, volleyed home to make it 2-2. There was even time for Breck Shea to threaten a late winner for Carl Robinson's side, who became only the 2nd team this season to leave Yankee Stadium with a point.
Orlando City are still looking to find their feet under James O'Connor, and they hosted a New England Revolution side who hadn't won since the 30th of June and had lost their last 3 in MLS. Orlando have won just once since May the 6th though, and were soon behind here. A soft goal via the head of Juan Agudelo. That goal came on 7 minutes, and after 18 the home team were 2 behind. A poor defensive giveaway, punished clinically by Christian Pania for his 9th goal of the season. The Revs should have had a 3rd before the half hour when Scott Caldwell ran onto a Pania pass, but he was denied by a smart Amro Tarek clearance, and that moment would provide Orlando with a way back into the game. Moments before half-time, Dom Dwyer reacted quickest to fire home Tony Rocha's cross, and the home fans finally had something to celebrate. With 19 minutes remaining, the man who'd produced that first half goal line clearance drew Orlando level. Tarek allowed the freedom of the penalty area to head home Yoshi Yotun's free kick. 5 minutes later though, New England once again showed how easy Orlando can be to pick apart. A trick and a turn from Teal Bunbury, giving him the space to make it 3-2. And moments after that, the Revs should have sealed the win. Pania showing a typical burst of pace and then just unable to steer his finish under the crossbar. Brad Friedel's team were holding on though until Orlando showed some of the fighting spirit that has been sorely lacking of late. Scott Sutter with a first goal since last June to send Orlando City Stadium wild. And talking of wild, shortly after the equalising goal, both sets of players engaged in a minor disagreement which ended with Jalil Anibaba reacting to a push from Yotun. The referee Hilario Grajeda seeing a hand to the face that he didn't like, and Yotun sent off. A sadly sour end to what was a terrific comeback from O'Connor's improving team.
The Montreal Impact played host to struggling DC United, whose captain Wayne Rooney showed no ill effects of the broken nose he sustained the previous week. But his team suffered an early blow at Stade Saputo. Less than 5 minutes had been played when Matteo Mancosu pounced to score his 2nd goal in 3 matches. Montreal's lead was close to being extended on the half-hour mark. Safir Taider testing the strength of David Osted's crossbar. Seven minutes later, Rooney went equally close to forcing an equaliser for DC. The visitors were rewarded for their efforts with 20 minutes to go. Luciano Acosta provided the assist for Yamil Assad, who converted his 9th league goal of 2018. Over the course of the game, the woodwork was struck no fewer than 5 times, including a second time by Taider, who along with Ken Kralicki went agonisingly close to winning it for the Impact.
On a run of 5 straight defeats, the Chicago Fire travelled to Real Salt Lake in danger of losing touch with the playoff hopefuls in the East. The Fire named a much-changed side ahead of their upcoming US Open Cup semi-final and were under early pressure here. Brooks Lennon's shot cannoning off the crossbar. As the game headed into first half added on time though, RSL were in front. Jefferson Savarino's cross steered home by Damir Krajlak. 3 minutes into the second half, the Fire were level. A piece of thundering brilliance from the right boot of Bastian Schweinsteiger. RSL were the dominant team and thought that they'd retaken the lead as the game approached the hour. Corey Baird's effort diverted into the path of Savarino, who celebrated a goal but was in an offside position. For all Mike Petke's complaints, it was clearly an excellent call from the assistant referee. In the end, though, the home team's pressure had to tell, and it did. Joao Plata driving in a cross that was turned in by Krajlak for his 2nd goal of the game and 6th of the season. Krajlak was on a hat-trick and could have completed a hat-trick. Stefan Cleveland denying him from close range. 2 goals, though, were good enough for RSL, and the Fire have now lost 6 in a row. A cross-conference matchup between 2 teams in the playoff hunt. Bradley Wright-Phillips has been honoured by the New York Red Bulls, who announced their number 99 shirt will never be issued to another player.
For number 99, that's 100.
In attack for the visitors, Carlos Vela has been integral throughout LAFC's impressive debut season.
It's Carlos Vela! Lift off in LA!
They went head-to-head at Red Bull Arena. Commentating on this one, Matt Jackson and David Stowell.
Last weekend's loss ended the Red Bulls' 6-game home unbeaten run in league games. They haven't lost consecutive league home games since 2015. Red Bulls trying to make a very quick start, and they very nearly did, with Bradley Wright-Phillips, who so often finds the net, but on this occasion couldn't quite.
Really sharp start from the Red Bulls, went chasing the ball, got some rewards, and this looks like it falls perfectly for him.
Vela takes it in his stride. Didn't quite have the chance to bend it. And then eventually it did find a way through towards goal. And the post rescued the Red Bulls. It was Rossi with the strike.
Robles just thinks that the free kick's going to be given, doesn't set himself for the shot, and Rossi gets it off really quickly.
Tyler Adams. Back to Roya. Looking to bring Murillo into proceedings, and he's looking for Roya. Oh, and it's a mistake from Tyler Miller, and Roya is happy to accept the gift. East strikes first in this cross-conference battle, and it is not a goal that Tyler Miller will ever want to see again.
You know, Roya all evening has just gone in and gone into the box, gone up alongside Bradley Wright-Phillips. Goalkeeper fumbles one straight to you, and you pick up an easy goal.
This is Lee Wynn. Now Vela. Tries to slide it through to Rossi! And he takes his chance. Back on the team sheet, back on the score sheet. The Uruguayan returns to the starting 11 with a bang. And LAFC are on terms.
Magnificent goal. He takes a fantastic touch. It's a real pace in the attack. Look how quick the ball comes in, fired in, and his touch is outstanding.
Now here's Wright-Phillips. Flag stays down. He's unselfish, and he might well have laid on the winner. for the New York Red Bulls. Royer at the double. That's the way to celebrate a new contract.
It's a straight ball. You can't get undone in these sorts of situations. Bradley Wright-Phillips, well done. Goal scorer, his instinct is to go and get a goal, but does the right thing for the team. Royer, again, happy to go and support.
It finishes here, New York Red Bulls 2, LAFC 1.
On a hot summer day like today, it's really tough, and we were just going after it. And even when we conceded the goal, we didn't give up. We just continued. We just went for it, and that's the reason why we created more chances. That's the reason why we won.
The leaders of the Western Conference, boasting a 17-game unbeaten home record dating back more than a year, playing host to the team at the bottom of the standings, but only won 2 league games all season. So it was somewhat surprising that the struggling San Jose Earthquakes took the lead in Dallas. Vaco outmanoeuvring most of the home defence to score his 5th MLS goal of the season. Midway through the first half, the persistence of Dallas fullback Reggie Cannon paid off as he and Michael Barrios combined to set up Roland Lamar, who levelled and in turn took his MLS goal tally for the season to 8. Shortly after half-time, the Quakes restored their lead. Anibal Godoy's precise ball over the top, converted by Jamir Hika, though goalkeeper Jesse Gonzalez will feel he should have done better. Having scored in 4 consecutive league games earlier in the season, Maxi Urruti had since failed to find the net in his 9 subsequent appearances. His luck was out again as Dallas went close to equalising for a second time. Instead, veteran Chris Wondolowski carved his way through the Dallas defence before teeing up a second for Vaco, who sealed the Quakes' first MLS win in almost 3 months.
Siggy Schmidt had to cope without his star man Zlatan Ibrahimovic for the trip to Colorado, but the Galaxy were unbeaten in 9 and confident of keeping that run going against a team that hadn't won in 5. The Rapids might have had the lead inside the opening 6 minutes, but Sam Nicholson's effort was deflected onto the crossbar by Ashley Cole. The Galaxy have shown before that they can cope without Ibrahimovic, and they illustrated it here. Roman Alessandrini pouncing 33 minutes in and finishing casually past Tim Howard. Colorado, though, showed real second-half spirit and came roaring back. Their recent acquisition, Kellen Acosta, grabbing his 2nd goal in his first 2 appearances with a strike to remember. Acosta gives Rapids fans real hope for the future, and so too does Nicholson, who put in a wholehearted display and completed a dramatic turnaround in the final minute of normal time. A night that suggested, after a season of struggle, that the Rapids are finally going places.
The Portland Timbers were looking to equal a club record of 15 games unbeaten in their cross-conference meeting at home to the Philadelphia Union. After conceding much of the possession in the first half, the Timbers needed goalkeeper Jeff Attinella to thwart Derek Jones shortly after the break. It wasn't long before Portland got into their stride, though in this particular case, Alvis Powell's was broken by a clumsy challenge from Fabinho. The resulting penalty was coolly converted by Diego Valeri for his 8th league goal of the campaign. Valeri was then at the centre of another penalty award late on. Referee Alan Kelly immediately pointing to the spot after he felt Warren Creval did enough to impede the Timbers captain. This time, substitute Dairon Asprilla took on the responsibility from the spot. Andre Blake almost denying the Colombian his first regular season goal for more than 13 months. With 3 minutes left, Valeri's free kick was headed in by David Guzman to complete the win for Portland, who continue to rise up the Western Conference standings.
Sporting Kansas City's Gianluca Buzio became the 3rd youngest player to start an MLS game when the 16-year-old took to the field to face Houston. 14 minutes in, the Dynamo's Alejandro Fuenmayor was shown a straight red card by referee Chris Penso for this challenge on the youngster. A hello to MLS turned into a goodbye to this particular game for Fuenmayor. Buzio remained at the heart of the action, unfortunate not to make a real statement with this superb strike. Houston coach Wilmer Cabrera was sent off at half-time for arguing with the referee, and amidst the confusion, it was no surprise that Sporting KC grabbed the lead. Buzio's flick for Diego Rubio to finish with 16 minutes remaining. 2 minutes into added-on time, the game grabbed more headlines for unfortunate reasons. Rubio was booked for a foul on Adolfo Machado, and then Darwin Saren steamed in and earned himself a red card for a push to Rubio's face in the melee that followed. The referee Penso sensed that something else had happened, but wasn't able to look at the video review as the VAR position was being pelted with projectiles. He took advice and sent off Albert Ellis for violent conduct towards an opponent. Houston ended with 8. The referee had to be escorted from the field, and a stunning debut by a 16-year-old was sadly overshadowed as Sporting KC got the win.
A resurgent Seattle were in Minnesota, looking to build on a recent run of good form. But they found themselves falling behind after 19 minutes when Darwin Quintero scored for the 7th time in as many games. Minnesota almost extended their lead shortly before half-time. An unmarked Angelo Rodriguez narrowly failing to capitalise. Fast forward to the last 2 minutes of the 90 and a crazy 20 seconds of action which spanned the full length of the field. With Seattle's cries for a penalty unheeded at one end, Minnesota broke clear in numbers at the other. With 3 against 1, the Loons were seemingly destined to seal the victory, only for Stefan Frei to brilliantly deny Quintero. In any case, had they scored, it would not have counted, because after a video review, referee Drew Fisher awarded the Sounders a penalty back at the other end for handball by Miguel Ibarra. In the first minute of injury time, Nicolas Lodeiro converted to make it 1-1. Now you'd think that would have been enough late drama for one night, but in the 7th minute of added time, substitute Will Bruin popped up to score an unlikely winner for Seattle. An incredible turnaround for the Sounders, who made it 4 wins in a row.
Seattle's late-season charge is making the headlines, but elsewhere in the West, their big rivals Portland moved to within 5 points of the leaders Dallas, and SKC also moved above LAFC, who dropped to 4th in the table.
Atlanta consolidated their 4-point lead in the East, though the New York Red Bulls have now edged ahead of their city rivals into 2nd place. 7 of the 11 sides were involved in drawn matches.
They may be notoriously slow starters, but the Sounders have found their groove. We leave you with their late show in Minnesota.
Flicks forward for Bruin! Can you believe it? The Seattle Sounders are back!
This copyrighted telecast of Major League Soccer may not be retransmitted, reproduced, or rebroadcast without the express written consent of Major League Soccer.